guys, here we are back at the canvas. This is a 20 by 24 gallery wrapped. These are my colors. So I'm using 8 ounces of black in this pour. This is my dump paint. Now this is white. Got some sort of periwinkle purple. This is just turquoise. Sort of a yellowish orange, red, and then some green, and last but not least, some ice blue from Dazzling Metallics. Okay, so let's get started here in just a second. Okay guys, here we are back at the canvas. I'm gonna say a quick hello. Well, eventually there I am, blue hands. I tapped the middle of my canvas just to make sure that it's nice and taut and sounds like a drum. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of paint around the edges and corners. I don't want the white canvas to come through, so I used to use black. I don't have any black handy, so I just thought I'd use some blue. Some of the same color blue that I'm also using in the pour. It doesn't really matter. It just covers the texture of the canvas and makes it easier for the paint to stick on the edges as well. Sorry, this is the boring part. There's my bald head. Finishing up. Okay. I probably should have fast forwarded through this one, but I thought I'd torch you just a little bit. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is pour 3 circles, 3 puddles, and then just slowly stack the paint on top of it. Now a lot of these paints have metallics in them. I know there's metallic green in there and a little bit of metallic blue mixed in there as well. And of course the blue also has some metallic mixed in it. I believe it's Artist Loft Soft Body Blue and a little bit of Dazzling Metallics Ice Blue. This is Liquitex Basics. It's just sort of their turquoise color. Now again, I'm using white as a barrier between colors because I've got some reds and yellows and I don't want them to bleed too much into the blue. So as I've said before, I'm sitting outside recording this and you're gonna hear an airplane or 2 fly over. I'm on my patio. So this beautiful sort of yellowish orange, I'm not quite sure what to call it. Maybe it looks like an orange, like citrus color maybe. Then some deep red. And then this sort of purple color. Remember, purple and red are side by side on the color wheel because purple is made from red and blue, so it's a good complement. And now I'm taking my time here, just a little bit of white. And then back to the blues. There's a lot of paint on this canvas. I was a little concerned at first that I might have too much, especially since I'm not using very much of the dump paint. Usually I use a 24-ounce cup, but on a canvas less than 24 by 30, I use 8 ounces. So I have plenty of paint in the puddles, so I have plenty of paint to get over the edges. Let's see, what am I going to do? A little bit of white, just the rest of the white on top. And then the rest of this sort of purple color. I forgot how I made that color. I know some blue and some white. Finishing off with this deep red. And then, last but not least, let's use up this sort of citrus orange. Ooh, it's a lot of paint. Okay, here we go. So I do it sort of in the center there where all three come together. I just think it makes an interesting pattern when you sort of separate these puddles out, which you'll see in just a few moments. So moving it nice and slowly over the edge. I was a little concerned that I was going to lose a bunch of my black, but the black will stretch. And then one more corner. And there we go. So I bring it back a little bit, get that weight back towards the middle. That's why I tilt it back in the opposite direction. And I'm going to put this down. We're going to go to time lapse here in just a minute. Wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. I started noticing some color on the edges, which always means to me it's going to get darker as time moves on, which is great. Okay, let's see the color pop in. There you go. I even like that little black streak that goes all the way to the opposite side. Okay, friends, let's look at the wet results. Okay, friends, here we are. I am back in my studio. Actually, it sat here for about an hour or two, only because I had stuff to do. So I'm liking this a lot, actually. I have a lot of pearls, a lot of color. Oop, well, if it'd help if I'd focus. A lot of color, a lot of pearls. You know, typically I kind of get upset and I don't, you know, that I have this line here, but I'm actually loving that there's some separation. It just sort of opens into this dark blue and into the negative space. So I'm not going to do anything except clean up the edges on the negative space there. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm trying to go for just something a little bit different, a little bit more, I don't know, abstract, chaotic maybe. I'm not quite sure what the right word is. I will clean up the edge, and I don't know if I'm going to trim any of those pearls, but just to make this sort of stand out just a little bit more. We'll see how it goes. Okay, friends, hold on, let's let it dry overnight. I know it's done moving because I can just tell. I wish it would focus automatically. So yeah, I just love the red speckles through here, the yellow, sort of that purple color. Then I've got that green, the dark blue right there. Some more red and white up there. So there's a lot of action. And there are my white pearls. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, friends, let's let it sit. We'll check in first thing in the morning and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, here we are. We are done. Well, it's done drying. And it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to do just very little cleanup, mostly just along the edges here. Maybe a little bit over there. We'll see. It'll only take a second. And when we are done, I will show you the dry results. Okay, guys, here we are. I'm all done. And I did my touch-ups. Didn't do a whole lot. You probably don't notice a whole lot. I cleaned up a little bit around that black area there. And just a few dots in here. So let me show you close up again before we do a new painting. All of these pearls into the red and the purple. Pretty cool. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do another one the same size. And we're gonna do, I guess a puddle pour and swirl. I'm not gonna do several puddles. We'll see what we get. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me get things put away and get a new canvas out, and we'll get started here on a new painting. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see you soon.